I don't know if any of you ever feel this way, but when I get a chill, sometimes I'll have, that's my voice is like that. I'll have a sneezing fit. I just sneeze like 40 times. That's what happens. That's the joys of having whatever it is that I have. Crazy, but true. My head's on sideways on the picture. That's not right. That's not right. I look kind of strange there. Hi, folks. How you doing? Nice to have you out there. It's just been one of those days today. It's been a really hectic, busy day for us. It was a planning ahead day. Just had sneezing fit, by the way. That's why I sound like this. Ronnie Parker. Hey, Ronnie. Nice to have you out there. I almost never came on tonight. So, but here we are. I'm a little dazed after sneezing so many times. I don't know what it is. By the way, it's Elton John's 75th birthday today. And as many of you know, Elton John's my favorite artist of all time. My first album I ever bought was Mad Men Across the Water by Elton John, the one with Levon and Tiny Dancer and the title song, and Indian Sunset was a great song on there, Holiday Inn. But anyway, that was the start of my music collection, and he turned 75 today. I still haven't talked to Elton John. I've talked to so many people who've worked with him. David Henschel, Davy Johnstone is the one player who's played with him the longest. People say, no, it's Nigel Olsson. Nigel Olsson he played with him earlier. Hi, Lucinda. But Nigel was gone in the 80s and 90s for a little while. So, but Davey was there for most of the time. Brandon Steele. Good morning, Shannon and John. Shannon's not on tonight. It's from Australia. It is morning for you. Maria Day, hi there. So Elton was the first one, and then I bought Goodbye Yellow Brick Road after that. And then I think I bought Captain Fantastic. Then I brought I went back, Honky Chateau. I bought the first two plus 11, 17, 70, the live album, much later because I didn't like the sound that much on Tumbleweed that much. And the self-titled album, I certainly didn't like Empty Sky when it first was released in 75, which was his debut album. Sorry, my voice is so ratchet. Hi, Paul. How you doing, man? So, Gary Harden. Sup, John? Not much. I just sneeze. Like, I don't know how many times. I always say 75, but I sneeze so many times I thought I was going to lose my voice. I get a chill. Any of you ever have that? I get a chill. Then I sneeze violently 3-4 times really fast to a point where I feel like I'm going to faint. So that's what happened. That's why my voice is like that. Dave, hello from South Florida. Always enjoy Friday nights. Hey, thanks, Dave. We want to go visit Florida. Sue Bailey. Hi, John. Happy Friday. Brandon Steele. Did you manage to order the music on CD? I have both already. So I already have the LP for Small Creeps Day, and I have the CD for Small Creeps Day. I've always had it. I've had the CD since 2000, I think. GDC Opinionators. Hello, John. Hello. I've had it, by the way. I've had a few people reach out to me this week that wanted to do a crossover thing, to do have me as a guest on their show. And I mean, obviously they'll want me to have them on the guest. That's usually how it works. They're not nearly as big as we are, but we like helping small YouTubers or smaller YouTubers. None of these guys are small YouTubers. They're all doing quite well. No, I don't remember their names, but in the next few weeks, I'll be able to talk about it a little bit. Yellow Brick Road, Lucinda says, was my first. GDK. Did you know that Bill Bruford has started an official YouTube channel? Yeah, it's been up for a little while. I see that. Paul Harris. I love Elton John, as well as Caribou was my first Elton John album. Love Ticking. Yeah, a guy who goes postal, Ticking, the ultimate going postal song. If you don't know it, check it out. And Captain Fantastic. Sorry, I wish I had some water. Pressy says, I'm here. Elton's husband wrote what we all feel about Elton on his Instagram this AM. It was beautiful. Oh, is that right? Cool. Tortoro Porco. Hey, nice to have you back. Hit those like buttons. Thank you. I appreciate that, especially with a guy who's practically lost his voice. I swear to God, I had gotten up and I was going to leave, and Shannon's upstairs looking after our daughter. And I thought, well, maybe I should go on anyway. My show's recorded for Vancouver right now, so I don't have to worry about that. What do you all think about the new Scorpions album? I'm not really a Scorpions fan. I'm not really into the really heavy stuff. Turns out ticking is what? Verdi? What's that mean? Yeah, ticking really hit me when I heard it about. I mean, you're following through with this guy who's really kind of losing his brain, but wants to take people down with him, and that's the only way he can think. And I was watching a show tonight about a guy who had left an offshoot of the Mormon Church, and basically the older people in the church, they were very traditional, so they had multiple wives, were getting rid of the teenagers, the good-looking teenager boys, so they could have the younger girls. And I'm going, what kind of sickness is this? So these guys who are thrown out of the cult are basically, they think they're going downstairs anyway, so they, go out and do all the nasties. Sorry. Anyway. They got involved with a lot of stuff. Guy does some bad things to his girlfriend. It was just awful watching this. And I watched that and I thought he had lost it. And it's strange. I was thinking about Ticking today, the Elton John song from Caribou. Elton says all hell started breaking loose for him as far as substances around Honky Chateau Caribou. Yeah, it depends who you talk to. But that's kind of what he he had said. And it's strange he did his best work after that. He did. I mean, when you can't. Well, before that, he had Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only a Piano Player, and Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Then Caribou came after that, and Honky Chateau was before there, and there were some great albums. I mean, he really did well. Oh, typo. No problem. No problem. Yes, very prophetic. It was happening back then, and it's still happening today. It's happening so much so today with these shootings that some people don't even report them anymore. And there are bigger things happening in the world, right? When you think about what's happening in Ukraine, someone asked me yesterday, one of my buddies, he also does YouTube videos. I will not name who he is, but he does a similar thing to what I do. And he said, you put Sarah from Leonid and Friends on there. Do you think that would alienate your audience? I'm going, how? How would it alienate my audience? His country's at war. His country's being invaded. If you don't believe that, then I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, we were thinking of doing a live broadcast in case you have questions for him on Wednesday or Thursday. He's right in Kyiv in Ukraine. If you're interested in that, let us know. It's not that we wouldn't do it if you're not interested, because I think it's kind of an important thing. He told me during the interview, I'm not sure it's in the interview or not, because we always keep out incidental talk where we're just talking back and forth, flippantly. He said, you might hear bombings while we're talking. He said, at the very least, you'll hear sirens going off as we're talking. And it was really, I couldn't believe it when he said that. I went, really? Wow. Really? We would? And I heard a slight, now I heard, at first I didn't think I heard anything, but then I went back and listened to the whole thing, and there was a little bit. Press the like button. Gennaro, thank you. I appreciate, these Friday night little visitations that we have are doing better because a lot of you, and I'm asking, and you guys are reminding me to ask you to do the like button. It means an awful lot. Yeah. Pressy says, by the way, screw the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm so disappointed with them. It's unbelievable. I've tried to be fair with them, but they care what I think. Gennaro says, greetings from Montreal, Quebec, my hometown, my original hometown. Love Montreal. Now that I'm very close to Montreal, and Shannon just told me tonight she wants to travel, it would be nice for us to go back. I'd like to go back. I mean, the last place I lived was Verdun, which at the time in the 60s, and I hear not that much better now, was a kind of a seedy area. And my parents didn't have a lot of money, so we lived in that kind of area. Okay. Spacey Sam Aku Holt. John, I'm hurt that you didn't recognize my username the other night. Don't you remember my Adele joke? No, I don't. I don't remember your Adele joke. But you're talking to my old brain here. Dale says, Bernie Taupin married my old girlfriend, good friend. Hey, wow. You used to hang around Fort Lauderdale quite a bit. Elton's best work came out of tough times. Very well said. Yeah. And a lot of people are like that. Look at Fleetwood Mac, right? God, as my nose is from sneezing. I mean, I'll shot you. GDK says Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a for-profit business. I mean, they're all for-profit, but it's really coming to the forefront that I don't think they care. Not taking Dolly off to me was unforgivable when she asked to be taken off. Oh, ballots came out. Who cares? Don't count those ballots. Big deal. Paul Harris, love this Friday night discussion. Great knowledge and memories from the group. Yeah, you guys know an awful lot. Dave says, do you speak French? I used to be able to speak French because I can still say my name like a French guy, Jean-Marcel Joseph Beaudin, and that's my French name. So I'll say it, je peux pas parler français. I still sound like I'm a French guy when I speak French, but I miss my words, so I chose not to speak French for quite a few years now, so I don't. The Greenbird, one flew east, one flew west. Yeah. Well, when I left New Brunswick in 79 after graduating, it was kind of like one of those see you later, suckers kind of thing, because you were cocky. I'm cocky at 19. And I went out to join radio, and I didn't really go to radio school till 82 when I had that list I showed you all with, remember all these albums, all these top albums. I still have them here and put away yet. They're not all from 82. Obviously, Time Passages isn't. But, hold on. But this one is, you all know this one. This one is Michael McDonald. That's from 82. Anything else there from 82? Nope. Anyway, so I left in 79, didn't get into radio school till 82. Got into radio in 83. And the first night I went on the air, I was doing the all-night show. He's a friend of mine now. He's a good friend of mine now, Len Tucson. I got off the air and he looked at me and I said, well, how did I do? Because I thought I'd done really well because I was a radio groupie my whole life. He looked at me and he says, John, you're really cocky. And that just cut me so deeply. You could have I wanted to disappear under the chair, but it's the best thing he ever told me. It was the greatest thing any program director ever told me because he had the guts. He was flippant. He was a flippant and a hard program director, but he taught me more than any other program director. I wish he would have done it a little differently, but maybe things would have turned out differently if he hadn't. So I was cocky. I was the one going around telling people I was a radio announcer. Now I don't tell anybody that unless they ask, what do you do? It's amazing how being embarrassed, humiliated, will make you a better person sometimes. Not everyone has to go through what I went through, but okay. Pulsar Light, speaking of Russia, I was reading about Leon Trotsky, and he looks like a distant relative of John Beaudin, really. Oh my God. Yeah, I know what he looks like, or looked like. The Greenbird. Hey, Fraser J, how you doing, man? Now that I know you're a guy. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know. Hey, John, hope you feel better soon. I've just seen clips from the Genesis gig from last night in the UK. Phil Collins isn't great at all. I know he's ill, but why embarrass yourself? See, some people say he sounds good. I'll have to check. I haven't checked. I've checked some, and he seemed frail. Maria Day, look how long the Hall took to put Journey in. Yeah. Dave says, the fact that Toto, a 5-time Grammy winner, has never been nominated is a joke. The fact that they played on so many albums, too. I think Rolling Stone has a stranglehold on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Steve Lukather told me he doesn't really care. And he said bad things about them, so. Enjoying the Mike Reno interview. That was just a little part last night because I didn't know what to put on last night. And usually I'll intro and extra the stuff. And I didn't have time. And it's not that I have to do makeup or anything like that. My hair always kind of looks the same. I don't have to do anything. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I just sneezed so many times. But I didn't have it in me last night. It's strange how that happens. I almost never came on tonight because I've been kind of in a sort of a negative mood all day. Just trying to figure out how to make this channel move a little faster. And sometimes it's frustrating because we put so much work sometimes into a video and it'll get like 300 hits. It's not your fault. It's other people's fault. I mean, the people who are here now, you're supporting us. That's great. Of looking at algorithms and figuring out when people are on. For us, it's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock our time is when most of our audience is on. Best time to release a video. So today, I don't usually feel a little down over this, but today I felt down. I went, geez, we want to make this channel more profitable. We want to make this channel work better without spending tons of money on advertising, which I know all the big channels do. They all spend a lot of, money getting their videos being shown and stuff. And not all of them do, but a lot of them do. I'd rather not spend half the money we make on YouTube, try to get more people to watch, but it's a business. I should be investing more into it. Okay. Thank you for indulging me. Do you, Al Vogel, do you listen to classic French progressive art? I do not. No. Brandon Steele, everyone check out Wise After the Event by Anthony Phillips. Great project. Yes. Lucinda Beggs. Enjoying the Mike Reno interview, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. He talks about every hit, practically. He remembers when I interviewed him last, which was kind of cool. Rockin' Vita. Thoughts on Aerosmith coming back from the dead and their Las Vegas residency. Can they pull it off on their own? Utilize all sorts of shenanigans. Tomfoolery. I think they can, yeah. I'm pretty sure they can. Sorry, I sneezed so many times. I'm losing some things here. Hold on. Oh God, I've lost a lot of things. Sorry. Spacey says the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame needs to focus on older acts. Some of them will not be around in the future. That's true. Very well said. Pressy, Bernie Taupin's banned from the Hall of Fame. What do you mean by that? The Greenbird. When I was a kid, the best disc jockeys were at KILT 610 in Houston. Chuck says Aerosmith opened for BTO in 74. Yeah. Indianapolis, along with Bob Seger Band. Is it Tammy? Why do 70s plus years old guys want to keep being rock stars? I don't know, because that's their living, man. A lot of them have a high overhead. Steve Picaro said it best. He says, we want to keep our stuff. And, I'm not saying all rock stars live paycheck to paychecks, but let's not assume they don't. Some of them live beyond their means, just like some of us do. I've spent years living beyond my means. I don't anymore, but West Creek. Good evening, John. Hey, good evening. Look at Rush 2013. Rockchild in the 60s. Good evening, John, and fellow rock music fans. I like it when... Oh, thank you, Rockchild. Appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Hope that helps the channel in some way. I appreciate that. Man, I you know what? I don't want to harp on it, but I was frustrated today. I had a frustrating day of just going, wow. I know a lot more people are doing YouTube, and we're still putting more time into what we were doing now than we were back then. And, you've got to hustle on YouTube in a month you got to hustle on YouTube to make a living. And even now we're at a point where we're really hustling to make sure that everything, we always can pay our bills, and that's fine, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You wake up in the morning and you start. And my son now can't help me as much because he works at Costco. He loves his job at Costco. And I want to encourage that. Okay. Oh, Gennaro, how you doing? My favorite radio announcer was Cousin Brucey at WABC. Who was yours? I've had a few. I did like Casey Kasem because even though I couldn't listen to Casey for a long time, Casey taught me how to inflect. He taught everyone how to inflect. Go up and down. That's what you got to do. And and that helped me not sound like Casey, but it helped me with the pregnant pause of being able to be on the radio and say, especially when I was doing new age music, which is when I found my voice. I realized I didn't have to sound like a radio guy because I don't have a radio voice. And I told me when I was doing like the Windham Hill, Narada, higher octave stuff, playing Will Ackerman and Night Noise and Michael Manring and Montreux, David Lawns, all those guys, Kitaro, Vangelis, of being able to just talk. I would get on the radio after working on an AC station and doing a rock show, and I would be able to just talk. I thought, I'm good at this. I love new agey stuff, and I'm a spiritual dude, and I'm just going to get on and talk like this. Not even like that, just kind of normal, but slow. And I found my voice. I was just telling my wife, Shannon, that was the best time in my radio career of all things, playing new age music, where I got 100 calls a night. In Vancouver, I would get a lot of calls, but 100 calls a night, even for my show now. Well, my show is voice track now, so I'm not live, but 100 calls, that's like major market US stuff. And I didn't have contests going. People would just call up, just wanting to talk. Pulsar Lights, YouTube algos are rigged. I'm not sure what's going on, but something's not right because we went down to practically not nothing, but barely a living after making quite a good living. And then we step with, what you do, you say, well, let's study it. Let's work harder. Let's do this. Is YouTube favoring other channels? And I look at some of the other channels work and I'm going, really? Really? But then you see some clickbait stuff. We do a little clickbait. Everyone does clickbait a little bit. But you got to, with clickbait, there's good clickbait where what you say, you deliver in the video. We try to do that. Doesn't always work. So, Rockchild in the 60s. Hey, how you doing? This damn war has got me in a negative headspace. Me too. I agree. Pulsar Lights. Cousin Brucey. Oh, hold on. Oh, God, I lost it. Okay. Oh, this is going by so fast. Sorry, guys. Oh, man, where am I? Okay, hold on. This just went by like... Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Ronnie Parker. John, will you have any questions in further interviews with Mike Reno about Moxie? I've already asked him about Moxie in the first interview I did with him. He said it was just not a good fit. Pressy, I'm an atheist, but the algorithms are antichrist. Olympics 2010. John Beaudin used to play a song in Vancouver on FM, a trumpet instrumental of All Things You Are. My question, who was that? All Things You Are. Does anybody else know who that is? I don't remember. Because the Vancouver show became very smooth jazz. And I was always a bigger New Age fan than I was ever a smooth jazz fan. Okay. Okay, all the things you are. I'll look it up. Eric D. Good evening, John. Hello. Salutations from Palm Springs. Love to be there right now. Is it Tammy? I'm not sure how I'm saying that. 10 years, the rock stars will be memory. Yeah, you're Pressy. Yeah. Wade, you do a fantastic job, John. Thank you. A thumbs up every time I see a new video. I appreciate that. Thank you. And Rockchild in the 60s, thanks again for your super chat, your contribution. Brandon Steele, hopefully you can get Steve Picaro on again. Oh, I can get him on again. I won't. Sorry, I'm sneezing, and I just sneezed like 40 times before I went on. Pressy, John, I DM the email you all the time. Where is that? You never respond. Go to your Instagram. Oh, DM is still. Oh, I never go into Instagram. Like never. Like ever. Look at my posts. I never go in. I don't even know. Can you? I don't know how that works, but I'll check it out. Joe Debacho, Paul McCartney, Get Back tour coming to South Florida. Cheapest tickets are $900. I know. Edwin speaks. Some old rock stars had terrible contracts. Very, very true. When I asked Mike Reno, I said, listen, last time we talked, you said that Ann Wilson doesn't want to sing Elmo's Paradise with you. Has that changed since I talked to you? Because it's been like 11 years. And he says, no, it hasn't changed. He says, I think that she's not feeling good about the contract for that song. She might have not done well with that. So I don't know why. He says, well, I've never done anything with her. She's not mad at me. So I'd love to talk to Ann Wilson and ask her. Pulsar Lights. Back in the day, radio DJs had a lot of power. They controlled what they played or didn't get played. True or false? Yes. When I was in radio, the only time I could play what I wanted was when I syndicated a radio show across the country called the Cross Canada Report. We had every market in Canada except Toronto, every major market. And so there I played what I wanted. But then on the New Age show was the only, and the jazz show was the only two shows. 42 hours a week I programmed. And then I became a program director and I programmed the station, but basically what every other back then station was playing of that format. Lucinda says, to be honest, I'm surprised that you haven't grown faster. Just be patient. Low and slow. Yeah, I realize that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Diz, Tumbleweed was my fave. A lot of people say that. Yeah, Bruce Hornsby says that. I'm trying to get an interview with Bruce Hornsby right now. Rockchild in the 60s. I want its success as well. YouTube makes it harder every year to make money to work for the future. It's really difficult. I mean, listen, I'm not going to do it, but for a short time today, I'll admit I felt like quitting. I just kind of felt like I'm working so many hours just to make a living on this channel that as much as I enjoy it, it's hard. It's a lot of work. Everyone works hard. I understand. I'm just speaking about my own experience. Loved all the real rock people. I agree. James, good evening, John. Greetings from Sunrise, Florida. Talking earlier of the infamous Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. ELP should be there. Oh my God, so true. Irene, cousin Brucey. Yeah, Dave. That is a great case of, thank you. Rockchild of the 60s. Casey Kasem was literally one of my favorite DJs ever. Well, he just spoke in the way that everyone could understand. He knew how to say it. You know, I first listened to British people and started really loving an inflection from a British person who talks like this and talks like that. You know, and I remember going, there's a power to that. The way the cadence and the phrasing of different nationalities I really loved. Irene, hello, everyone. Dave, that's a great Casey Kasem. Thank you. Jason, that's a great invitation. Well, thanks. Alex 2112, Tom Bernard, KQRS. I used to like a guy on WPTR named Shotgun Johnny Ringo. He was one of my favorites. I used to listen to him on AM radio from New Brunswick so I could hear him. The Green Bird, Casey Kasem, Scooby-Doo. Yeah, that's right. Irene Brophy, Mannheim Steamroller. I interviewed Chip Davis of Mannheim Steamroller, who lives in Nebraska, if I remember correctly. Told me about his involvement with C.W. McCall. That's how it started for him. And Convoy. He was on that album. Rockchild of the 60s. Hi, Irene. Oh, there it went again. It goes up. Hold on. I lose ya. Okay, I don't know. I probably lost a few here. Dre Batista. Cheers from Brazil. Hey, just wondering if you're ready to accept Dino Jalusic as the new Whitesnake singer. I read about that this week. Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Just a little help to keep up the great work. Oh, thanks. By the way, and listen, I appreciate it, but I'm not, that's not why I'm here, but thank you. Trust me, that helps. I read about that this week about the new lead singer. I say if bands want to keep going, you got to let them. Okay. Dave says, I went to broadcasting school. I do a radio show 7 times a year. The radio voice annoys me. Yeah. There are YouTubers narrate that do the radio voice. Oh, it's so bad sometimes. The young guys who think that's how they have to talk because they sound affected. And that's the word for that. It's affected. Oh, Edwin Speaks says Casey Kasem played the voice of Robin on the 60s Batman cartoon. I didn't know that. The Greenbird, FM radio in the 50s, played classical music. It was nicknamed funeral music. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, I read some of these. Hit the like button. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate anyone who hits the like button. It'll help this video do better. So I don't mean to be a sad sack today, but sometimes I'll take a breath from working all the time and I'll go, holy moly. This is to get this much money, it's a lot. It's just crazy amount of work. So for like 5 minutes today, I thought, I don't need, maybe I should look at doing something else. Fraser J. Yeah. Check out the YouTube channel called Choose 80s. And then they filmed some of the Genesis gig. Okay. I'll check it out. Thank you. Hike with Mike. I got in here late today. Hey, Hike with Mike. Thank you so much. A lot of you always coming on. I appreciate that. Rockchild in the 60s. I'm going to play Chat DJ here. Everyone hit the like button and subscribe for great music history. Thanks, Rockchild in the 60s. That's kind of you. Time. Is it Time Up? That would be Time Up then, right? FM 100 in Memphis had John Scott, who became a big shot at a record company. One of my best friends was John Scott. He's going through some stuff now. Like he emails me once every 6 months. Stan Vans, 54 watching, only 36 likes. Hit the like button. Thanks, guys. It's 45 now. Irene Brophy, David Keith Jones, Rockchild in the 60s. John is very responsive on his Facebook page. Jason, are you planning on doing an interview with Steve Howe or Alan White? I've already talked to Alan White. I've tried to get Steve Howe before. Alan, and no disrespect to Alan, because Alan's a good guy, but he has an old man voice. He kind of talks like this. So the connection was so bad that we had to transcribe everything he said. But I appreciated him talking about John Lennon and playing on Instant Karma. And Time Up has recorded a bit. You Must Be High. The Greenbird, $900 to see a 90-year-old rock star. Yeah, I know, it's hard, but it's Paul McCartney. Hike with Mike. I worked for a guy at Clear H2O, Florida, that owned a Greek radio TV show, and TV show. He was from Vancouver and said he gave Loverboy the idea for their name. Well, that's not what Mike Reno said. He had an idea. I forget what it was, but it wasn't that. William Shatner is 90-year-old rock star. I interviewed William Shatner. I've still got the tape. Rockchild in the 60s. LOL. Back in the day, the FCC were complete Nazis in radio world. Now everyone can get whatever they want. Chemo. It'd be nice to hear from one or two old guys just plugging away from the old glam art rock days. Steve Harley, Cockney Rebel, Bill Nelson, Bebop Deluxe. Yeah, that'd be cool. I lost the pay. Yeah, we're getting a Patreon page going. And once we have that going, hopefully it'll make this YouTube channel a little bit more profitable or consistent, right? I mean, as you can see, we still do well. We have 90,000 subscribers, but the hits don't reflect the subscribers sometimes, and I'm not sure why. We're working on that. And like I said, we started an ad campaign with just to show our trailer. I like Wolfman Jack. So did I. Yeah, love Wolfman Jack. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Where am I? Hey, from Hey, Melody. Nice to hear from you. What's the weather like in Saskatoon? Saskatchewan, rather. Where are you in Saskatchewan? I'm just assuming. Joe says FM radio in the 60s were college stations. A lot of them, yeah, till the big stations started coming in. Chemo, Rockchild of the 60s. Thanks. No big story. Danny Andrews, do you think about quitting? You're good at this. Well, it's just that it's got to be a profitable thing where you look at, I look at this, the amount of hours I put into this. If I went out and get a job, like if I went and got a job at Costco, my God, I'd be making double what I'm making here. But I don't want to work at Costco. And I've always been a broadcaster, and this is a natural thing for me to do. And I enjoy doing it. But there are some days I get frustrated with the growth of the channel. I go, wow, I'm not sure why some of our videos, and I'm just bitching tonight. You've never heard me do this before, where I'm going, wow, I can't believe like these videos aren't being watched. I know we're not putting money in individual videos, which a lot of other people do, but I don't know. It was just a frustrating day to me. Just, I told myself, don't talk about this when you get on. Shut up. And there you go. Edwin speaks, even Paul McCartney isn't worth 90. I couldn't pay 900. I can't afford that. I don't have the money to go. Melody, I'm just between Swift Current and Saskatoon. Oh, cool. I was heard on in Swift Current and in Saskatoon when I was syndicating my radio show. Rockchild in the 60s. Now your Patreon page, I would absolutely join. Oh, you haven't joined in 7 years? Okay, thank you. Spacey. I didn't know that FM existed till the early 80s. Well, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Gennaro, Captain Kirk was asked to talk at McGill grad class, which inducted my daughter in the audience who graduated. Oh, wow. Time up. Is it time up? It sounds like time up because up. Glad you do this, John. I appreciate that. And I'm not doing this to sort of get, oh, poor me. I have a good life. I live in a nice house. It's not a big fancy house, but it's a nice house. I drive the car I want to drive. It's not an ultra fancy car, but it's a nice car. And we do well. It's just that sometimes sometimes we'll do these 5 artist things, and I see other channels do really well with these, and I'll put it on, and it'll get 800 hits. I'm going, oh my God, I just spent the last 3 days doing this. And obviously, we don't do those when they don't work out, because that's if you keep doing the same thing and getting the same results. That's as they say, that's the definition of insanity. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Yeah, the Elmo Combo shunt guy. Yeah, the Elmo Combo show. April Wine opened for them. It was a secret show from the Elmo Combo in Toronto. They're releasing that. Melody R. That's why you seem so familiar. I must have heard your radio shows. I'll bring out the paper one of these weeks. I have a promo, 2 pieces of paper from program directors who said nice things about my show. I mean, obviously, a lot of these guys are probably not program directors anymore or probably retired, but they were real people and real stations. But yeah, both of those markets played my show. Ruben says something I agree with. Hard to find a tour worth seeing these days, but maybe Foo Fighters. I'd go see the Foo Fighters. But I wouldn't be able to pay for that. I don't have the money to go to. When I was in Vancouver and I was on the air in Vancouver, same station I'm working for now, Move 103, I would get free tickets all the time. When I was running a station in Calgary, I would get free tickets all the time for shows. Most of the time I couldn't go because I was the morning guy and I'd have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning. But I'd give them to people unless it was a Friday night. GDK, I was doing laundry, might have missed it. Has anyone mentioned Crimson documentary? Yeah, I've not heard a lot about that. Ruben Kincaid, Love Acts, Life's On, and Andy Curran's new project is awesome. Have you heard it? Yes. I haven't been in contact with Andy in the last little while. I just interviewed Carl Dixon from his band. God, my voice. Envy of None. Yeah, that's right. Los Endos. Now, there's a Genesis fan. Do you think Dream Theater belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I don't think they'll ever get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I don't think so. They're too left or right of center. Great band. Oh my God. Like a lot of people can't play that music. Oh, I can hear that in my lungs from sneezing so far. When I sneeze like that, like I said a while ago, it's so violent that I have problems catching my breath. That's why before I got on, I was getting dizzy. I'm going, man. And it's just basically allergies. And it's not allergies. It could be dust rather. Yeah, dusk when it gets dark at night. I don't know what it is. When I'll get a chill. If I get a chill, it's like I'm wearing a long sleeve tonight. I was going to change into a shirt. I usually like wearing a nice shirt, but I felt like I'm feeling a little clammy. I hate to be so blunt. And I told myself, if I take my shirt off and take my t-shirt off, put on a shirt, I'm probably going to sneeze. So I need to keep it on. But I came downstairs and sneezed anyway. 45 times or something. Paul Harris. In 77, I paid $7.77 to see Queen at MLG, Freddie Mercury, for under $8. And Thin Lizzy open. Wow. The boys are back in town. Jailbreak. By 40 by 40. More underrated artist, Bryan Adams or Billy Squier? Well, Billy Squier would be more underrated than Bryan Adams. Did you hear what Bryan Adams did to an interviewer this week? An Australian Today show asked him about the summer of '69. Thought that was a great year in music and what came up with that song. And he says, I'm not here to talk about that. He smiled. He said, look it up. I cringed watching that. Yeah. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he would do that to them. Like, really, you wouldn't be sitting in your chair. I think he was standing up, actually. If you hadn't had songs like that brought you here, I wouldn't be talking to these old rock stars if I only want to talk about their new music. I've said this before. There's a formula that we use to get people to watch them. Like, we have a nice story about working for the weekend. A great story that Mike Reno told us. And I'm going to put that first and what he's doing now second. So that can be the title. And then that's how it works. You can't talk about the new album. Oh, well, they don't have a new album. But if you do that, people won't press on it. But inadvertently, if you put that as the second question in the clip, people will listen and hopefully they'll listen to the new album. I don't know what Bryan Adams did. That I was very, very disappointed in him. And I asked for an interview and I knew I wouldn't get it, but I've asked before. Paul, sorry, you can get a hernia from sneezing. Yeah, you can. My ribs will be sore tomorrow. Rock child of the 60s. I only go to concerts if I win tickets from a radio station. I did pay to go see Hall & Oates in September. I'd go see them. Pressy. The Elton John band, Warren Zevon, Paul Schaefer, the world's most dangerous band. Art Matters, Blue Oyster Cult, not in the hall. I think they may get in. I don't know about Blue Oyster Cult. Maria Day. There was a time Van Halen opened for Journey. Oh, I lost everything. Love Billy Squier. Chris says, the pollen here. And what's NC stand for? Sorry, pardon my ignorance. What's NC stand for? Is terrible for sinus issues. NC, why is my brain not working? I'm really good with initials in the United States. Not tonight. North Carolina, thank you. Appreciate that. You guys always come to me. A few people said it. Yeah. Hike the mic. Look at this. I can't even read now. Hike with Mike. I think Ronnie James Dio definitely needs to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He should be for sure. And he's been dead for quite a few years now. Rock child in the 60s. Graham Nash gave me tickets to the last concert in Houston just because he liked a comment I left on his Facebook post. Wow. Really? Wow. Pressy. Did anyone see Howard? See, I read it verbatim because I'm a broadcaster, right? Anyone see Howard Stern's interview with Wolfgang Van Halen? They were planning a total reunion. Oh, I didn't know that. Summer 69 was an innuendo, Dave says. I think Brian was only like 11. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a made-up story. I know that. Yeah, Pulsar Lights. I never understand what authority Rock and Roll Hall of Fame have to the general. Yeah, I agree with that. JDC wrote, Crimson, not in the hall. Yeah, King Crimson. North Carolina. Thank you, and pardon my ignorance. Time up. Isn't J-Lo up for it? I never considered J-Lo a musician. I mean, she's not a bad actress, but I never considered her a musician at all. She has a paper-thin voice. Paul Harris, North Carolina. Thank you. Rockchild. Pressy, I watched part of the interview with Wolfie. He's a really great kid. Valerie and Eddie hit the Good Child lottery. They did. Jason, my dad sneezed 37 times when he took a nap. Wow. Gamers, Rainbow. I don't think Rainbow will ever get in. Maria Day. Hit the like button. Thank you for the reminder. 49 likes. No, 80, 60 likes. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, 60 likes. I think it's wrong to try to mainstream rock with the Hall of Fame. Hike with Mike, you just said wow, like Christopher Walken. Did I? I didn't know I did that. Sorry. JDK, she was amazing in Shades of Blue. Gamers, I was just happy to see that. Yes, finally made it. Yeah, of course. Yes, yes. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. It's been a tough week, but everyone has tough weeks. Every now and then, I'll look at this channel. I've not done it as much as today, where and thank you. I'm not going to quit. Don't worry. And I appreciate all your encouragement today. But this was one of those days where I thought, well, this is I don't want this channel to start eating me up a little bit, right? And as much as we get really good interviews, and I'm happy to say, I know reputation's other people's business. It's not my job to tell anyone what my reputation is, but I'm glad after a lot of interviews, I'll get some really good response from the person I just interviewed. They go, "This has been really, really fun. Thank you." And I know they don't say that to everyone because they don't say that to me every time. So it's nice. It's gratifying. It's the best part of the job. I wouldn't be able to do it if I got too nervous because it would be too much for me. I don't really get nervous. I don't know. I don't really look nervous. I'm not nervous. Now and then, Bill Bruford made me a little nervous. And that was on the phone. But I got a little self-conscious with Bill Bruford. It was kind of like he had the air of, you better ask me good questions. You better ask me good questions. Oh, okay. He didn't say that, but there was an air of that in there. Okay. Rockchild, Melody R. $2,000 is a steal today. Yeah, for Leaf Faminia. Leaf Faminia won. One tickets in 83 Toronto, Kim Mitchell, Teenage Head, Santers at MLG. Frankie wore the kilt. Melody, Rockchild of the 60s, irony. Spacey says, too bad that Chris Squire wasn't there. Yeah, well, Geddy Lee was there. Saw Yes in 81. I've never seen Yes. People are always surprised by that. I was a bigger Genesis fan. Saw them twice. Gennaro, had a rough day too. John, hang in there. Oh, I hope everything's okay. One of the things that was really nice today, I found out that one of my friends, Shanine, she was my right-hand gal when I was running a radio station in Calgary. Her name is Shanine Carr. And she's one of those ladies in broadcasting. You can put Shanine anywhere and she'll get it done. She's always been that type of personality. And she was on mat leave as a program director in Winnipeg for a station there on the Bell Media. I work for Bell Media. And we just don't work together anymore. But I found out that when she came back to Kelowna, British Columbia, they made her program director there. And I was like a giddy child. I was so happy for her. Because that lady, I could ask that lady to do anything. And she had honor. She became a program director. And that was a highlight for me today where I was just really so happy for her. Of all people, just an all-around solid broadcaster, Shanine Carr. That's an amazing girl. Just an amazing, smart lady. No bull. Just will tell you what she thinks. And that's what you want in a right-hand man or right-hand gal. You want someone who will say, John, that's not cool. We can't do that. We don't have the money for something. And Shanine was always that. I knew she was going to be a leader. Okay. Ruben, keep it all in perspective, John. You know what you're doing. will be fine with however much you do. Uh, every day is rough now. Time up. Yeah, I get you. GDK. Bruford doesn't suffer fools. Very true. But he was really nice to me. He really never said anything. Rockchild in the 60s. John, it's the war and the past 2 years probably has an effect. I agree with you. That's true. Randy Collins. Hey, John, greetings from, greetings from The Rock. Just tuning in at the moment. What happened in the show so far? Not much. We were just talking about me quitting YouTube. Not much. I'm not quitting. For 5 minutes today, I just thought, and I felt relief. I went, oh, what if I didn't have to do this every day? But I'd have to do something else. I'm 62 and I can't just retire. Look how flushed I am just from sneezing so many times. It was a lot of sneezing. GDK, you're no fool, John. Thanks. Like with Mike. Do they induct songwriters who are usually behind the scene or write for others musicians? If so, J.D. Souther, Carla Bonoff, yeah. I remember playing Personally by Carla on the radio. Gamers, do you interview John Anderson? I have. It's on this channel. Just look up John Anderson. You'll find it. Long interview. Jason Schulz, have you done an interview with Genesis? Just some members of the Genesis family. Steve Hackett, 6 times. Anthony Phillips, I think 3 times. Who else in the family? But I've never interviewed Peter Gabriel or Tony Banks or Mike Rutherford or Phil Collins. David Henschel, their producer for a few albums, I interviewed him. Someone else in there. Oh, yeah. Besides being great, every guy in my high school had a crush on Sandy Horn. Sandy Horn, I have to admit, I'm interviewing her. I got a little giddy interviewing her. I've noticed in the interview, because we've got 5 more clips coming up on the Canadian channel. This is the Spoons. They were a big band in the 80s in Canada. But you can tell I'm flirting with her a little bit. Very unprofessional of me. Shannon's not jealous at all. She doesn't care. But yeah, doing a little flirting with Sandy Horn during the interview. She's, it's so not PC to say, oh, she's just beautiful and gorgeous. Well, she is. But she's also incredibly talented. When she starts talking about the bass and how Nile Rodgers gives her a bass that she should play, because Nile Rodgers was producing the Spoons back then. It's just so entertaining, and she's so got her feet on the ground. She talks about a stalker. The last clip is 10 quick questions with Sandy Horn, and she talks about a stalker she had. It's kind of scary. Sinus swelling. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can really feel it in here from there is a Songwriters Hall of Fame. Yes. Well, I'm not leaving my current job. I do a radio show in Vancouver every night. And, that gives me some money, right? And I do this. And that's what supports our entire house. That's why it's nerve-wracking sometimes. That's why we're having to set up a Patreon. A lot of people who do YouTube and Patreon, their Patreon account always says, well, YouTube's not steady enough every single month. If you're making a living off of it, you can't, because some months you'll do, no matter what you do, you're just not going to do well. And it seems like, I don't think YouTube favors channels necessarily, but I see channels doing the negative channels, not in rock. Most people who do what I do, they don't go all negative, but the negative people attacking other YouTubers, those channels, it's crazy. Like 5 million hits for one video. But I can understand that because hate sells, right? And there's juicy stuff out there. I found myself watching those a few weeks ago and going, I got to stop watching these. I don't even know who they're bitching about. I don't even know who these channels are. The most disturbing, look up the most disturbing YouTuber. That's a story. No, the John Anderson from Yes. It's on this channel. It's in our trailer. If you watch the trailer right in the front page, in the homepage, I'm talking to John Anderson. Art matters. Not to be a downer, but everyone's retirement is 2030. Rock child of the 60s. I'm straight and would flirt with my big girl crush, Tina Turner. Stevie Nicks. I think a lot of people had crushes on Art Matters. Agenda 2030. Go figure. Ruben, I'll be joining the Patreon. Thank you. Gamers, the Canucks. Just joking. I never was a Canucks fan when I lived in Vancouver. I lived in Vancouver from 89 to 2002. I was never a Canucks fan. Oh, yeah, Lee Aaron, another talented beauty. Spacey, he's talking to someone else. I interviewed Wendy, 10cc, Graham Goldman. Joe, during a lockdown 2020, I got through Saturday nights with live from Fur Beach. Really? 80? Column algorithm engagement. Sorry, I'm skimming here because that was a nice burp for your, okay. I have to go because I'm feeling I'm a little congested. Thank you for everyone who donated tonight, who gave us a super chat. Again, we always put it in advertising. We have to put it back in the company. We have no choice because we really have to promote the company and promote this channel because, I've been doing this for, I don't know how long, 2016? I don't know. It's on our About page. I'll send a thanks. Hang in there, John. Patience is a virtue. Thanks. I appreciate that. So we're going to keep doing it. It's just that I wanted to be transparent with you that, it's not like fun and games for us. We do have bad days where we get frustrated and we go, holy moly, I just spent like 12 to 15 hours a day doing this and we're making this much? What the heck, So part of that though is not working smart enough. It's, some of that is just my own fault. And maybe a lot of it is of just not paying attention to trends and things like that. But some of the artists I interview are not always the most popular. Like Jack Williams, Jack Williams. That video didn't do well, but he's a great artist. And he's a guy who talked about Kevin Costner. He's just an amazing artist. And I thought, no, I'm going to put him on the channel. If I had a manager, the manager would have said, don't do that. I'm glad I don't because I want to, he's like a prestige artist to me. And his solo stuff's amazing. Really love him. So I'll always be promoting artists like that should, get, that should have a following, that should be heard, right? So anyway, after sneezing that many times, I don't hope I didn't make a fool of myself. I feel so high because you never sneeze like a whole bunch of times. You just feel like, woo, rock and roll is a vicious game. Vicious, not vicious. I promise you, I have not been drinking. You know why? Because I never touch alcohol now. If I ever do, it's always after 11 p.m. and it's a nightcap. I like to have a little nightcap before I go to sleep. But that's about it. I've learned, and you know what? I've learned that from a lot of rock stars. A lot of rock stars that I'm talking to, they're saying, I can't do what I used to do in the old days. And I can understand that. Anyway, have a good weekend, everyone. Love being on here with you. And thank you. And listen, I promise I won't be a downer next week. But it was just one of those days. We all have had them. And it's okay. And the channel, hold on. Hike with Mike says, I have a regular job. I make my videos in my channel to promote conservation of wetlands, wildlands, and don't make cash. But that's okay. But see, in my case, I have no other job, and I do. I have a radio job, but I do that at home. Plus, you get stir crazy after a little while. You want to go out. Even my wife was selling very expensive homes in Calgary, really beautiful homes, not making nearly as much as she should have made, but she was doing well. And now I don't want her to do that anymore because it was so incredibly stressful. It was such a stressful job for her. And she was very good at it. She was one of their top salespeople, but at what cost, right? So I'd rather have Shani just relax for a little bit, but she gets stir crazy. She's a people person. She loves people. Melody says, I'm retired at 55 to care for my son. Wow. Well, that's really nice. Thank you, for sharing that. Rockstar, wisdom is golden. Toro Porco. Thank you. Buy Bitcoin and retire. I love you guys. You know what? You just made my night from all your comments, and I appreciate that. It's good. But anyway, we've been going for an hour and 8 minutes. Mind you, I started late tonight. Thank you. Shannon will be on next week or possibly this week. She's going to help me by introducing some videos, introducing like the long form. We're putting the entire Kenny Loggins interview on Rock History Book, the other channel this week. And I told Shanny, I said, why don't you just introduce? It's not like she knows more about Kenny Loggins than I do, because I've been in radio and I do. But Kenny Loggins is one of her favorite artists from the 80s. And I said, you know Kenny Loggins really well. So why don't you do it? So she might be just introducing them and just throwing it to me, which a lot of YouTube channels make. But anyway, thank you. Have a good weekend. When news breaks, we'll be on here doing our thing. And hopefully I won't be sneezing 40 times before I come on. Man, that was violent. Love you guys. Oops. I got this little pen, see? Got it from my autistic daughter. She loves playing with these things. Ding. Take care.